It's Sunday. That means one thing and one thing only. Time for more just kind of chill moments. Unfortunately, we're not just rambling through the countryside on our little journey over to the northern remit of the land. Got to stop by, get the qualifications, the mage test. Whether or not they're going to pass successfully is one thing, but what kind of damage are they going to cause along the way? Frieren herself, obviously very skilled, Fern being taught by the best. I don't expect them to, struggle, but abiding to the rules of the competition, and in these little groups that they have now, that's going to be the challenge. Especially since one of them is, or has, a certain mindset. If she approaches this challenge like she did with the bandits that attacked her, that could be interesting. But of course, if it was all too easy, everyone would have caught the bird by now. We saw the giant cockatrice type thing that was attacking them last episode. Are there any other monsters in the vicinity? Other than the other candidates? Shall we check? Considering we are now going back to the hall, either it's going to be a very quick recap, just to remember, see who's taking part of it, or it's now splintering off and we're going to follow Fern's group. See that simultaneously along with Frieren's attempt. But considering the very much unprepared amateurs that seems to be the other two in Frieren's party, I'm expecting each group to be going about it in a very different manner. Also, I've heard rumours out there that there are others that don't quite appreciate the way that this show is handling things. I say the distraction away from the journey with this certification exam being the little training arc thing that we kind of needed. Now that Sign has departed, it needed a change of pace. If it just kept trudging along with how we understood it, then it might get a little old. Having it dispersed with this, in a land and a story which I very much vehemently enjoy, and I've said it before, I don't believe I've said it on video though, but I'm getting the same feeling from Frieren. The world, the way the story is foretold, the bits that are seemingly unnecessary, and yet we're getting the background to it. We're getting the same feeling like when I first experienced Lord of the Rings. Same kind of fantastical wonder. And anything that can give me that feeling rapidly goes up in my estimations. Didn't expect him to agree so quickly. But also, like master, like student, who's stark is terrified a lot of the time. Maybe being human, understanding that we all have our own. I think knowing that he was fine. So why are you scared? That would put more pressure on him. Then they're all the same. Yeah, we're scared, but we'll get through it. And that means quite a bit more. Also, I didn't think of that. Now we're getting Fern's third adventure. Well, fourth if we don't count her original master. Oh. So are we just ignoring what it took to get that bird for this lot? For Frieren, it's a learning opportunity, or teaching opportunity for those two to help them, gain a bit of understanding, knowledge of the world itself. Considering now we need to protect the bird from the other parties, that makes sense for Fern and Ubal. I mean, have you ever tried sneaking up on a bird? It's the reason why they have wide range of vision. Hmm. Can you just does Frieden have a spell to talk to them? So do you mind getting into this cage for me? We're just doing a little test. It would really help out. Passing down through a verbal tradition, a spell for capturing birds. If it can be used on one that size, have a miniature version, avian capture. But it only works on stuff that resembles birds. Okay? Depends on how broad your definition of a bird is, then, I guess. Ah, that is quite a limiting factor. What if they just build a little bird feeder, put some seeds in their hands, so can't wait for it, pretend to be a tree? What about the water in the air, the natural moisture? Maybe she's not at that level yet. Huh. Okay. So she was at a permanent disadvantage there. What has she just understood from a sentence? The manner sensitive bird here staying away from them. The only thing I can think of that she might be contemplating is like what she did with Aura, mana suppression, or maybe the other way, just so much mana it confuses it. No moment of understanding between them, straight to violence. While she's whimpering face down in the dirt. Okay. Yeah, not the. That's more what I expected from her. Yeah, very confrontational. Oh, are we all converging on the lake? But yeah, this feels very reminiscent of some other things I've watched. The little tests, kind of like Hunter x Hunter exam arc bit. Um, they're working to complete their duty, but also protect it, possibly interfere with other teams. And Fern's. So, do the examiners here take into account the local ecosystem if they're putting up a barrier for weeks on end? So they would have to come down to the water at some point. Unless there are other ways, other little pools. Yeah, I don't think she really cares about if you'll run into anyone else or the potential trouble. Ah, there we go. Already been found. Instant reaction and reaction. They're after the bird, and this is the. Look at that grin. Little bit of excitement. Shaft. I like that she has a field of rubble around her. I wonder what her magic revolves around. Considering that they were on the back foot and ambushed, and yet still held their ground with not even a scratch. What just happened over by the lake? That's making a statement. Freezing it over completely. No water for anyone. They now have a monopoly on the lake. Has it worked? I thought she was like, oh, is she out of mana now after that show? Nope, just taking off on a sprint. Sit back and wait. So they're just gonna sit there, let someone else do all the hard work. I mean, you don't get that wizened in age and magic without a few tricks up your sleeve. Is that still part of the lake or just different waterbed? The fact that Fern isn't too worried about what's in front of her and more like, what is she up to? Fern quickly took that order to scatter. Well, if they're just trying to get some water and not worried about the the bird itself might be different. Oh no. They are not going in this blindly, are they? Someone's really pulling the strings in that party. And yeah, like what he just mentioned and what we saw previously, what other beasts are about? Are there any other test takers and parties that are going to be in danger? Maybe I shouldn't have said it. In danger? Hmm. Did he have... He was testing how old the blood was, I guess. Okay. Hmm. So if you touch them, they're after you as well. And the fact that the examiners haven't taken any precautions in case some of them die. If they can't handle this much, they weren't obviously cut out for it. So that's definitely one way of dealing with it. Just sit back, a nice cup of tea, and let the birds come to you. I have no tea left. Fall down the wayside. He has been through the ringer, hasn't he? He may be weak, but that's how he's managed to carry on this long. Water. Is it a trap, perchance? And the fact that there are little pools around. In fact, they aren't working in tandem. Well, they are working in tandem, but working as in close proximity to one another. If you can't see it, if you can't recognize it, even the person who cast it could detect it. I see Frieren has been teaching them well and quickly. If there's one left. The only problem is, are we sure that with them working independently and running around tapping off all the different water pools there are, that they're going to be okay? Ah. Eventually they're going to have to show themselves, and that's when they will strike. Hmm. Even if they've taken it down to 10 from 50, it's better than not doing it at all. Well, it's possible. But it is so minute they could never possibly see it. But to Frieren, who's been suppressing her own marriage for how many years now, even slight fluctuations she'd be able to tell. How still is she going to have to be, though? At least this is a job well suited for her. Just sit down, not move, possibly not even exist. And by not exerting any manner at all, she is effectively invisible. Let's hope she looks like a attractive perch for this bird thereafter. Greetings. It seems that way. But now you have the bird, the other parties are probably on their way. And it was in that moment. Oh, that was interesting. Already too late. The one that is... Okay. It didn't even move from the onslaught of needles there. It didn't seem too phased. Just, adjust the glasses. Wow. It's a technique that has been refined over the years. There's no point in doing anything flashy. Combat is just getting the job done. Magic should be used for everything in between. A hailstorm of rocks like that for not budging an inch. There might be a reason for that. She's been travelling for a while. Really? Okay. So why would she fall to the other one if she's meant to be the strongest here? He got a scratch. Is this where Fern comes out with, yeah, I got a demon as well, Really now? Oh, really? It would be a shame if she did, because, women have all the party members get back in order to pass. Yeah, she can't allow that one to happen. But also, you might want to go check on your party members. Ubel's not exactly known to hold back. From what we've seen, it's if she gets to have a little fun. What was it that Kraft said about the bodies? Had been torn apart by not a monster but a mage. Are there going to be many of the examinees making it back? Maybe not passing, but at least making it back to try again next time. I suppose that's why it's held every 3 years or whatever it was. Need to check over the environment, recapture any birds they need. Let the ecosystem bloom a little more after trapping it off for weeks. I appreciate the way that this is being set up. You got the different parties and how they approach things. Every one of them has a different way of, and different success rates of doing it. Lie in wait for someone else to capture the bird and we'll just jump in then. Frieren is all about letting it come to you, be part of nature, just let things happen around you. We didn't see how Fern and Newbon and whatnot managed to succeed there, but speed is key, I guess. Just get it done. Their story is about defending, having fun about who comes after them. And I couldn't really ask for less, really. We've seen ambling through the countryside, the villagers and people they've met along the way. Sometimes the big dramatic moments like the demons that have infested the city. Now, what it means to be a mage. Fern having the skills and the experience to back up her abilities, but still very much limiting herself to very elementary spells. You don't need more than that. Everything else, you're just, showing off. This isn't about showing off. That was the demon's mistake, wasn't it? Hubris. And apart from the kind of laws of the land here, mean they can't actually proceed until they have the qualification, even though Frieren is long predated that law with her little necklace medallion crest thing. This little stopping off point, having a load of characters all dumped on us at once. I want to see more of about 3 of them immediately. I need more. But with it mostly going around the 2 that Frieren is looking after, babysitting, if you will, they're back and forth from... I don't think they would particularly mind not getting the certificate as long as they stay on the same level. That friendship rivalry. Maybe they'll get closer together while failing, but then Fern will get the certificates they can go through anyway. Yeah, I kind of need more of Ubal. Having this one who bears no fools and just goes in all guns blazing. If something is in her way, she'll tear it down. If it seems fun. Of course, the smirk and grin, some of the faces we get from her may have swayed my decision there. But how many more party members are going to be left dangling from the trees or scattered amongst the rocks? Do they have a list of those who actually went into the exam and they do like a search clearing party afterwards? So, okay, get them down from the tree, wipe away any excess blood across the floor, melt the lake again. The idea of this exam does kind of make sense. You've got the task of figuring out how to complete your objective and survive and get back. All the cases of being an adventurer if you're traveling in the lands. Things could happen out of your control. You could be attacked by bandits, or in this case, other mages. Yeah, if you can't fend yourself against it, well, it's your fault. You should have been able to predict that something might happen. Can't just rely on everyone else saving your ass. But as I keep trying to say, and I've probably started the sentence about 7 times, at least in my head, I really appreciate the way that it's going about this, especially with Fern being how she's been taught. This is a very ancient way of learning. Well, I wonder where she got it from. But each one that we see has a different fighting style, has a different array of spells that they know, or how they approach the situation. Yeah, they may all be mages. They may all be going for the same exam certification. None of them are the same person. None of them have the same experiences, the spells they wield. Other shows, oh, it's a mage, okay, you cast Fireball, or Ice Shard. Nah, we don't do that here. There's a lot more to it than that, and I want to see how. What else can be brought to the table, and also, is there going to be anything new for Frieren to learn? Add to her little repertoire, even if it's not for combat. It'll be fun to find out. Now that the Battle Royale has truly gotten underway, well, we'll see who emerges the victor. And who gets to keep the birds safe, lest there be a chicken dinner. But if you enjoyed this episode, let me know. If I entertained you, let me know as well. Leave a like and a comment down below. If there's anything I've missed, misunderstood, or maybe underappreciated, might be a good time as well. But if you want to make sure not to miss out in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Maybe join onto my Discord as well. But for now, get yourselves a bit of rest. Good thing if I need a drink, I don't need to head down to a lake to get it. But see you in the next one.